Imagine you're driving down the highway, and all of a sudden, boom, a deer walks out on the road and you hit it and get in a car accident. These type of accidents happen all the time, every day, and are not only extremely dangerous, but can also lead to death. Um, my name is Joey Green, and the purpose of my speech is to persuade you guys to support the hunting community. Being someone who has always been in the woods and loves wildlife and loves just being outdoors, I could initially understand why somebody would be hesitant to support the hunting community or just think that it's a bunch of people just trying to kill animals. And for the most part, whenever I hear somebody who doesn't support the hunting community, most of the time it's not because they dislike it, it's because they don't really understand exactly what it is and what they do. There's many reasons you should support the hunting community, but 3 of them that I'm going to talk about today are that hunting controls the population. Hunting also supports the environment and supports populations, raises a lot of money, and also the food is extremely healthy. So the first point, the population control. You can directly see how the population can be a problem with especially deer, especially how it with car accidents and everything, it directly impacts human lives. Doyle Rice from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration states that in a year in North America, there's 1 million car accidents involving just deer in North America. And 200 people die from that every single year. Now, that's a big problem and something that hunters with the ability to kill animals help that population and actually can promote people living. The second point that I would like to talk about is that the money that's raised and from hunting. So every year, hunters have to buy a tag in some states, but in every state you have to have a license to hunt. And this money goes directly back into the environment. So not only can hunters help bring populations down that are too high, but they also can bring populations back up that are too low. So these tags are not a very cheap thing by any means. Some states it's $1,000 to buy a tag to go hunt one animal, and sometimes they don't even kill the animal. So that's $1,000 going straight back into the environment to help populations. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation stated that in 1907, the elk population in the entirety of North America was 41,000, and that's not very high. And it's showing how the tag system helps a lot by after 1907, when they implemented that, the population just began to rise very well. And it shows because now today, the population is over 1.1 million elk. So it went from 41,000 to 1.1 million just because of a tag system. And it's not just that the hunters have to buy the tag to hunt, but you got the license that they're still buying as well, and that's everywhere. And the third point of why people should support the hunting community is because of how healthy the meat is. The University of Wyoming's Jay Pennington stated that all venison, and it's not even just deer, all venison is extremely healthy to eat. And that's because of the low fat and low carbs with high protein. Anybody who's cleaned a deer or just seen the inside of one can say that there's very little fat in it. And that's just because they're running machines, so they gotta be extremely fit. another thing that comes with the eating the deer is the fact that it can be very cheap, and many people can do it. So with a little bit of experience, it's not something that just one year you can decide you want to hunt and kill a ton of deer. But with experience and hard work, you can absolutely get more meat for cheaper in the long run than you would just going and buying a store. And these meats are unprocessed. You kill the animal, so you know exactly what's going on with that meat. Austin Martin from thisishomesteady.com talked about how he gets some of his gear from Walmart for $30, which shows how affordable it is for anybody to do. So in conclusion, I hope that we stated that the population is controlled. It helps. Hunting also helps bring money in for animals and help populations, and also it's extremely healthy to eat. It's genuinely changed who I am as a person in a good way, and I mean, I can say that I've learned a lot of lessons through hunting that I couldn't have learned, especially as well, without it. One of the main ones is patience, because if you're hunting, you gotta be patient. It's just how it is. And a man named Sasquatch Mansfield from ruggedlegacy.com had a good statement that I thought was well described, and it states that because of how hard the challenge of hunting is, it can also teach young hunters just a lesson that hard work in the end is worth it, and you feel so much better about yourself whenever you complete a challenge. And I would just like to say that before any of y'all decide that you just don't want to support hunting or don't like it at all, at least give it a try.